Hello, sixth graders. This week we are going to be starting a new graph, probably one that you haven't really seen a lot of, and that is called a box and whisker plot. So today's objective, our goal for today is to just learn how to create them. On Wednesday, we will go deeper into how to analyze them, how to understand what the data is telling us. Today, our goal really is just to understand, first of all, how to create them and also how to make sense of the different vocabulary words. So you'll notice on this opening page here, we have all sorts of words, probably words that you've never really seen in this context before. So let's get started. Maybe. There we go. Okay, so what is a box and whisker plot? It's a graph that gives us a really quick visual of the center of the data. So when we talked about our very first statistics lesson was on mean, median, mode, and range. The median is the very center. So if you do not remember how to find the median of a set of data, I would stop this right now and go review that first from some of our past lessons, because that's going to be really important for you to know how to do in order to create a box and whisker plot. Medians are pretty much all you need to know how to do. So make sure you understand and remember how to do or how to find the median of a set of data. So this graph, it basically has a box that tells you the three medians, and it separates your data into four equal parts. We call those quartiles, or four different quarters. We'll look into that a little bit later into this lesson. Okay, so what are the different parts? I told you there's lots of different vocabulary words that you're going to have to know. So I'm just going to quickly give you a little overview of the different words that you're going to see, so that when I bring them up later, you go, oh, okay, I remember her kind of mentioning that before, but you'll get a lot of practice with this throughout today's lesson. So the first thing I want to go over is this guy right here. So in your data set, this number represents the very lowest number. You'll see it as the lower extreme or the minimum. Over here on the other end, this guy right here is going to be the highest number in your set of data. You'll see this labeled as either your upper extreme or your maximum. And then these little lines that connect to the box, these are called your whiskers. So that's why we have a box and a whisker plot. So this box right here represents the three medians that we'll talk about a little bit later. The first median right here is going to be the lower quartile, or your Q1. Okay, this right here, this guy, you really need to be familiar with this middle part of the box, because this is the median. This is the very center of your whole entire data. So this is your second quartile, Q2, or the median of your whole set of data. And this guy right here is your upper quartile, or your Q3, or the median of your upper half of your set of data. Now, I know you're probably like, whoa, 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 that is so much information. I have no idea what you're talking about. But like I said, we're going to go into more depth on those. This is just giving you an overview of some of the vocabulary words that you're going to be seeing here today. So let's go ahead and get started. We're going to create a box and whisker plot from scratch. So here I have a set of data where this is just test results from 15 different students. So you can see that our numbers range from, we have, let's see, our lowest is somewhere in the 60s and our highest is somewhere in the 90s. Oh, our lowest actually is in the 50s. Okay, so the first step is we are going to find the median of the entire set of data. And to do that, remember, it is very important that when you are finding the median, that you order the numbers from least to greatest. If you do not do that, your median will change depending on what what order the numbers are in. So make sure that you order them from least to greatest first. So I've already done that for you. So here we have our lowest is 54, our highest is 95. When I find the median, I am finding the number that is exactly in the middle. So we were lucky this first time because we have an odd number of data points. That means that our median is just the number that's in the very center. We don't have to find an average. It's just there. So our median for this whole set is 80. And you want to keep track of these. Don't forget them. Keep track of your medians. So now that I have this median, basically what I have done is I have cut my data set in half. So now I have this whole set which I'm going to call my lower half, and I have this set, which is now my upper half. Okay, so now I'm going to find my next step is I'm going to find the median of those two halves that I found. So let's go ahead and erase those. But I do want you to still understand that this number is cutting your data points in half. Now, keep in mind, when I have an odd number of data points, I have one median. I don't have two. I'm not finding an average. I just have one. So I'm not going to include that number. So keep that in mind. When I have an odd number of data points, I am not going to include my median in my lower and upper halves. So my upper half or my lower half starts at 54 and ends at 73. I'm not going to use 80. Okay. So when I find the median, I have a number that is just exactly in the middle here. And I have my median of my upper half that is exactly in the middle here. No average is needed here. So now I have three numbers that I am going to need for my box and whisker plot. I have the median of my lower half, I have the median of my whole set of data, and I have the median of my upper half. Okay, moving on. Step 3. Maybe. Oh, look at me. I was so on top of things. Okay, so this guy right here, and I mentioned this before, and I actually am glad that this reminded me. I want this to go away though, but it's not. Okay, so this number right here is going to represent that box that you saw. This is going to be the first line in that box. This is your lower quartile or your Q1 number. This guy right here is going to be the very center line of that box. And it's going to represent the second quartile, and this is going to represent the third quartile. Okay, now moving on. Step 3. So this is actually the easiest of all of the steps because really all we're doing is we are just finding the lowest number and we are finding the highest number. And these are called our lower and upper extremes. So my very lowest number, since they're already ordered from least to greatest from finding the median, we have them right in front of us. So our lowest number or our lower extreme is 54. And the highest number in our set is over here on the very end. And it's our upper extreme, which is 95. Okay, moving on. Now, the next step, I'm going to plot all of these numbers on a number line. Now, when you are creating your number line, make sure that you include numbers that it has all of the numbers in your range of your data. So I don't need to start at 1. I don't need to start at 0 because my lowest number is 54. So my number line should start somewhere around 54. I started at 50 and our highest number is 95. So we definitely should have the upper part of our number line, it should include 95. So I decided to go all the way up to 100. So when we plot, excuse me, here we go. When we're plotting these numbers, I'm just going to plot all 5 of these numbers. These 5 numbers are your ticket to the box plot. So I'm going to now label, first I'm going to do my box. So I'm going to take this 70 and I'm going to plot it on the number line. And I'm going to create a line floating above it that's going to be part of that box. Okay, the next one I'm going to plot is 80. So you find 80 right over here. And again, I'm going to draw a line that's just kind of floating above it. And my last number, my last median that I found was 88. And there's the floating line above the 88. And then I connect those lines together and voila, you get a box. Isn't that so cool? Now I'm going to create my whiskers by putting my lower and upper extremes on the number line. So first I'm going to put 54 over here. You see it's above the 54. And over here I have my 95 floating above the 95. And I connect those to the box and that creates my whiskers. Now I want to talk about what this box actually represents here. So what we've done with our data is we've separated it, and you can see it's separated into 4 quarters. Okay, so you can see we have our first quartile, our second quartile, our third quartile, and our fourth quartile. So when you see it here on the number line, it's the same thing. Okay, so here is my Q1. That's why this guy represents Q1, because here is the first quarter or the first quartile. Then from here to here, this is my second quartile or the second quarter of data. And from here to here, that's my third, and that's my fourth. So when you're analyzing, which we'll get to on Wednesday, we're not going to go deep into that today, but I want you to understand really what we're creating here is we're creating our whole set of data separated into four parts, four equal parts. So that's why we're finding the medians of each of the different halves so that we can create quarters. So we have this quarter, which is Q1, Q2, Q3, and then we have our fourth quarter. Okay, now you are going to create one with me. So let's erase all of that fun drawings there. Okay, so here is a different set of test results. Now this one is going to be just a teeny bit different because we have an even number of data points this time. So we have 18 student results. So the first step, I'm going to have you push pause. I'm going to kind of coach you along with this one. So if you will please, if you don't already have a piece of paper and a pencil ready to do all of this with me. So that's going to be the most beneficial for you. So you can see what you're doing wrong and you can see what you're not understanding. And if there's a certain point where you're like, whoa, I really don't understand this, then please reach out and ask questions because that's why we're here. We're here to help you. Okay. So here's your test results. Our first step is to order your data from least to greatest and find the median. So I'm going to go back to the results so we're going to go back here. So I want you to push pause and I want you to order them from least to greatest and I want you to find the median. Now I will tell you with this one, because you have an even number of data points, you are going to have two numbers in the middle. So you're going to have to find the median by adding those two numbers together and dividing by 2 or to find the average. So please press pause now. Okay, so hopefully you have them ordered from least to greatest now, and you have your median. So let's check your work and see if you did it correctly. Okay, so here we have ordered them. I've done it for you. We've ordered them from least to greatest. And you should have 80 and 82 in the center. So to find the median, we're going to add those two together, divide it by 2, and my median of this set of data is 81. So if you did not get that, please go back and check your work and see what you did and see what you can do to get it to 81. Hopefully you can find that. If not, again, please reach out to one of us. Okay, the second step is we're going to find the median of your upper half and lower half. So here I've made the dividing point for you. So here you have your lower half, and we have our upper half, and you are going to find the median of each of these. Now, here's the difference from the one that we did before. Before, I had an odd number, so I had this awkward number floating in the middle, and we did not include him. But now that we have two numbers in the middle, we are going to include those numbers in our upper and lower half. So 80 is a part of this, and 82 is a part of this half. So keep that in mind that these numbers are now included because we have two of them. So go ahead and push pause now and find the median of the lower and upper half. Go. Okay, so hopefully you have done the work. We'll go ahead and erase that. And let's check your work. So we've already found our median of the whole set. Now you should have found the median of the upper and lower half. So you should have 76, you should have 81, and 88. So if you don't have those three numbers, go ahead and check your work and make sure that you have those numbers. So let's just review. So if 82 is included, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 numbers. So we'll have 4 numbers on either side of the median, and this guy right here is right dab in the middle. Same thing on the other side. We have 9 numbers, 4 on each side, including the 80, and we have 76 right dab in the middle. Okay. So just as a reminder, the names of these numbers that you have just found, this one is going to be the Q1 or the lower end of your box. This is the median or your Q2. And this is the upper end of your box or the upper quartile. That's your Q3. All right. Step 3, we're going to find the lower and upper extremes. So go ahead and push pause. Remember, this is going to be, sorry, don't push pause yet. This is going to be your lowest number and your highest number. Now push pause. Okay, so hopefully you were able to identify the lowest number, which is your lower extreme, and that is 68. And you should have identified your highest number or your upper extreme, and that is 92. So now, you guys, we have 5 numbers. We have our 5 golden numbers. That's going to be our ticket to creating our box plot. Let's go ahead and get started. So we're going to plot all of these numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to find those numbers on our number line. And remember that these 3 medians are going to create your box. Your upper and lower extremes are going to create your whiskers. So let's go ahead and try it out. So push pause now. Okay. Welcome back. Hopefully you guys were able to create your box and create your whiskers. Let's see if you were right. Oh goodness, what have I done here? There we go. Okay, so here we have the box, which is 76, 81, and 88, and that creates our box. And then we have 68 over here on our lower extreme and 92 over here on our upper extreme, and those get connected to the box as our whiskers. All right, now next, you guys, I'm going to have you try one all the way on your own. So I'm not going to go step by step with you, but here is another set of data. These are the number of songs that were downloaded, and you are going to do the whole process. If you need to go back and review, you absolutely can. But let's go ahead and have you guys push pause, and I want you to go through the whole process of creating the box and whisker plot by first creating or putting these numbers in order from least to greatest and finding the median, and then finding the median of your upper and lower halves. If you have an odd number of data points, you will not include that middle median. If you have an even number of data points where you have 2 medians in the middle, you will include those in your upper and lower half. So just keep that in mind. So go ahead and push pause now and try it out. Okay, you guys, let's see if you did it. Let's see how you did. All right, so here we have them ordered from least to greatest. Here you actually have 2 numbers in the middle of your upper and lower halves. So the average of 17 and 19 is 18. The average of your upper half is 27. So here are your 5 golden numbers. We have 16, which is your lower extreme. We have 18 right here as your Q1, 22 as your Q2, 27 as your Q3, and 32 as your upper extreme. And we connect our upper and lower extreme to our box in the middle. Okay. Now, if you did not get it right or you did not understand how to do that, again, please reach out and ask some questions so that we can make sure that we're where we need to be. So the next thing I want to do is I want to go over those vocabulary terms with you. So we're just going to talk about those different terms, and we're just going to identify them on an already created box plot. Okay, so this question asks us to find the median, the upper quartile, the lower quartile, upper extreme, lower extreme, and the interquartile range. That is a new vocabulary term that we're going to talk about. The interquartile range, that is a mouthful, isn't it? That's a big word. So interquartile. So this right here, this box represents the very center of our data, or the inner part of our data. So the interquartile range is this box. This represents, and you will also see it. Whoa, that is really sloppy. You will also see it identified as the IQR, interquartile range. Wow, that is really pretty. So it's hard to draw with a mouse pad. All right, so the IQR, the interquartile range, represents your box. So the interquartile range is looks like from 47 to 52. So that's the range that we have. That's called the interquartile range. Where is our median? Our median, remember, is right here. So that's why I like you guys to be able to create the graphs, because then it's easier to understand them because you've created them from scratch. So the median of our whole set of data is that line in the middle of your box. So our median for here is 49 because it's in between 48 and 50. It's that line right there. So our median is 49. Okay, our upper quartile, this is going to be the line here. Our upper quartile is going to be Q3, or this line at the end of our box. And what number does that represent? Well, our upper quartile is 52. Then what's the lower quartile? That's our Q1 number right here. It's the lower end of our box, and that is 47. And our upper extreme, remember that's just our highest number. That's the point over here that connects our whisker to our box, and the upper extreme is 56. And our lower extreme is 44, because you will see that on the other end of our other whisker. Okay, we already did our interquartile range, which is this guy right here, and that is starting with the lower end of our box and to the upper end of our box, and that goes from 47 to 52. Okay, let's go ahead and have you guys try one on your own. So identify these different parts of this box plot. So again, find the median, the upper quartile, which is Q3, our lower quartile, which is Q1, our upper extreme, which is our highest number, and our lower extreme, which is our lowest number, and the interquartile range, which is the numbers that are being represented within the box. Push pause, find those numbers. Okay, let's go and see if you are right. So our median, I'm just going to go through them. I'm not going to write them this time. So our median, 17. Upper quartile, 18. Lower quartile, 15. And our lower extreme is 13. Our upper extreme is 20. We have one more, you guys, and then we are done with the instruction. You get to go try some of this on your own. All right, so here again, you're going to find the exact same things. I want you to find the median, the upper quartile, the lower quartile, upper extreme, lower extreme, and the interquartile range. Go. Okay, hopefully you were able to get those on your own. The median right here, this guy in the middle, 225. Upper quartile right here, which is 235. Our lower quartile, or our Q1, is right here, 215. Our upper extreme is this guy up here, 245. Our lower extreme is this guy down here, which is 205. And the interquartile range, which is the range within the box, which is from 215 to 235. Now, if we wanted to find a number that represented that range, we would just subtract those two numbers. But really right now, I just want you to know and understand that this box represents your interquartile range. All right, you guys, that is all for today. I hope that you understand how to create a box plot and how to identify the different terms of a box plot. Good luck, and we will see you on Wednesday.